In 1159, Pope Adrian IV sat in his private chambers at the Vatican. He was the only Englishman ever to hold the highest position in the Catholic Church. For weeks, he had been suffering from a severe case of tonsillitis.
That evening, Adrian called for wine to be brought to him.
Red wine, please.
Adrian raised the goblet and took a deep swallow. The fly had lodged itself in his already inflamed throat.
His face reddened as he gasped desperately for breath.
Blood vessels in his eyes burst from the strain of coughing. Pope Adrian IV collapsed to the stone floor.
On April 7, 1498, King Charles VIII of France moved through the Château d'Amboise.
The 27-year-old monarch was in good spirits. Charles was taking his queen, Anne of Brittany, to watch another game. The passageway was ancient, built when doorways were constructed for people of shorter height.
Charles entered the gallery at full stride.
The king's forehead struck the solid stone lintel with devastating force.
Charles stumbled backward. Blood began to flow from the wound. Charles wobbles, eyes swirling.
The king's body convulsed as his brain swelled against the broken bone.
In 1131, Prince Philip of France rode through the streets of Paris.
The streets were narrow and crowded, filled with the chaos of medieval city life.
A large black pig suddenly darted into the road.
The stallion's front legs collided with the pig's body at full gallop.
Philip was launched from his saddle. In 1244, Grufford stood at the window of his cell in the White Tower. For weeks, he had been secretly tearing his bedsheets into strips. The Welsh prince tied one end to a beam and tossed the other out. Grufford was a large man, heavily built. He squeezed through the narrow window. The braided sheets, unable to support his weight, began to fray.
The rope snapped. Gravity took hold. Sultan Baybars sat in his opulent tent outside Damascus. Baybars prepared to execute his scheme. He added the poison to 1 cup, intending it for his guest. A well-meaning servant noticed the cups were not full and topped them both off. When Baybars returned, he grabbed what he believed was his safe goblet. King William II of England rode through the dense undergrowth. William positioned himself in a clearing. Sir Tyrrell stood some distance away.
The arrow flew true, but fate had other plans. The deflected arrow hurtled toward the king. He was killed by his own revenge. Story 7. Sigurd the Mighty. Sigurd the Mighty was a feared Viking warrior.
The Earl severed male Brigte's head, becoming Sigurd's trophy.
The severed head bounced against his leg.
Fever followed. Sigurd's body burned as sepsis took him.